everyone. Greetings and welcome to Discussions. We are once again here with Discussions, the show Discussions. It's amazing how fast the week flies by. I am your host for Discussions, James Parana Madonna, and I am here with my co-host and mentor, the one and only, the Pope of the Internet, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, founder of Newsletter Censored in 1977. How are you today, sir?
Fine.
Okay, it is Saturday, March 19th, 2011. The infamous March 9th.
Waiting for spring.
Yeah, well, spring is tomorrow. That's right. The first day of spring is tomorrow, Sunday, March the 20th. And tonight is the infamous, here in the Garden State of northeastern New Jersey, we are, thank God, we are having a crystal clear sky tonight, even though it will be very cold, unfortunately, but it will be clear because last night was cloudy. Tonight is the infamous March 19th supermoon. The moon has not been this close to the earth in over 18 years. And what significance does this have? What a natural disaster might happen next with the extra gravitational pull? Who knows? But from what I hear, the Wizard Azibuko will be attempting to video the infamous super full moon tonight. Hey, Reverend Bill, first we had the 9.1 earthquake in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, followed by the tsunami. Now the nuclear reactor, which is because of the aftershocks of the earthquake. But now we have the supermoon. Is this, and then 2012 is next year. Is this perhaps an omen? This supermoon?
No.
You know it's not? I don't know, man.
Happened how many times before?
Okay, now we're here at the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey, of course, and the Renaissance man Ken Create called me last week. He was all excited about this man who apparently has this New York Times bestseller. He's selling his book like hotcakes, millions of being sold, and people are jumping on his bandwagon over at Facebook, and of course it seems to be all the right-wing fundamentalists, evangelical holy roller people that just love his story. And this man his name is Kevin Malarkey. Yes, it's no joke, Kevin Malarkey. And I think his father's name is Alex Malarkey. But anyway, what happened was, the reason why this man is this famous Christian who is in the spotlight right now, Kevin Malarkey, he had it sounds like an out-of-body experience after a car accident. What exactly is this all about? You saw the video recently.
The video is concerning his son, not him. His son, he was driving.
Kevin is the son, right?
No. I believe the son's name was Alex.
Oh, the son is Alex. The father is Kevin?
Yeah. So
the testimony of Kevin Malarkey is the father telling the story. And I notice right away, they start doing the... now, the people that usually get over-emotional during a church service and throw their hands up in the air and say, "Praise the Lord! Praise the Lord!" Are these the right-wing fundamentalist evangelicals? Is that the right term for them?
Nobody did that in this 44-minute.
But the people who put the video on the internet, titled "The Testimony of Kevin Malarkey," that organization is full of all, over-emotional, "Praise the Lord, hallelujah," dancing and getting funky, and, those are usually, what are they called, usually?
Could be a bunch of things.
Evangelicals, right-wing fundamentalists?
Sure,
fundamentalists?
Baptists, who knows?
Yeah, I wasn't brought up that way. I like to logically study and accurately interpret the Bible, and this I'm sharing this view with the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, accurately and scientifically, there's no need to do an audition for American Idol just to do accurate Bible study and to learn the Word. There's no need for all that over-emotional, like you're a TV evangelist trying to dupe people out of their money. But anyway, continue with what you've learned from the video.
Kevin Malarkey and his son Alex were driving along, and he made a left turn into a cutout in a highway which he was not familiar with. And those cutouts are for, like, not for turns. So he was over on the other side of the highway when he got plowed by another car coming, and it hit the passenger side.
Was it a head-on collision?
Passenger side.
Was it a head-on collision?
It hit the passenger side.
All right.
The man is making a left turn.
Okay,
across the highway. How can he hit him head on?
I'm a stickler for accuracy. That's why I'm asking you.
He's making a left turn.
Only the facts,
the
man. Only the facts. Okay.
The other car plows into the side, not the head of the car, and it hits the kid.
Excuse me. Let me use my blackthorn shillelagh as a pointer.
The car is spun.
The passenger side gets hit, right?
That is correct.
Malarkey's car.
No,
Whoa.
the shillelagh is. No, wait a minute. You're confusing me.
Wait a minute.
It's a double lane. It's a two-lane highway.
Two-lane highway. Malarkey.
Or with a medium in the middle of it.
Malarkey.
4 lane.
The father, Kevin Malarkey, was driving, or the son?
The son is only 6 years old.
Oh, really? I'm learning something now. My co-host and mentor, the Reverend Dr. Bill, is learning me.
If the kid is driving, you're in big trouble.
Unless it's Stewie from Family Guy. Anyway, the demonic baby, Seth MacFarlane's in the creation. Anyway, Alex, I'm sorry, Kevin's the father, right? He's driving, naturally. He's going this way, and the vehicle that was on the other side hit the car on the passenger side.
Mr. Malarkey.
See, he's not answering me.
Because you're not getting the picture.
Did it hit the car on the passenger side?
I just said that. Because he was making a left turn.
I'm trying to. He was making a
off a highway.
A left turn, and the car was at an intersection?
The car was speeding down the other highway.
Oh.
I said a medium in the middle.
So it is an intersection.
No. It's 2 lanes or 4 lanes, whatever it is.
All right, continue.
With a medium in the middle of them.
A medium? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, those concrete barriers to keep you from going onto the other side of the highway.
Well, that's called a medium now?
Yes.
In the construction industry?
Yes.
All right. I didn't know.
Or a median. Whatever.
I call it a concrete barrier.
Well, that's what it is.
All right.
And he made a left turn into a cutout in the barrier, thus trying to go across the other highway. And the other car was speeding down the highway, not speeding, but coming 50 miles an hour, whatever the highway, the speed limit was, and plowed into the passenger side of Mr. Malarkey's car.
Okay.
The car was spun around. Mr. Malarkey was thrown out of the car, and his child was decapitated.
Almost. Well,
nerve-wise.
You mean the cervical spinal cord?
Spinal cord
was almost severed. So he was hanging by a thread, practically.
Well, he was still in the car.
And this child was
about six.
And the testimony that the father got came from a 6-year-old child. Okay.
The testimony is
now I'm learning.
that Mr. Malarkey was unconscious. He didn't know what was going on. So when the emergency people got there and took care of him and everything, and he went to the car and everything, he saw the son in this condition,
Right.
and he thought he was dead and everything like that. Well, make a long story short, the kid theoretically did not know about heaven,
Christian,
the angels. No, he knew enough because the family knows certain things. But father said he did not read Revelation, so he did not know anything about Revelation.
He's young.
To make a long story short...
No, don't make a long story too short, because this is a big issue. This guy has got millions of books sold.
The kid says that he went up in the air, saw the accidents, saw everything.
He hovered above. Hold on. He hovered above the accident.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he went to heaven.
Supposedly.
No, that's what he said.
Didn't he say he was escorted by big angels, big muscle-bound angels?
There were angels in heaven, 6 wings.
Yeah.
The wings over the face he thought were masks.
Yeah.
He had theoretically, like I said, never read this part or heard this part of Revelation.
Now, supposedly he saw demons?
He saw, no, he didn't see demons. He saw, well, just a moment now.
Okay.
He did see, I think Satan did appear there on the side of the seat or something of that nature.
Somebody
That's
with...
that's not the important things. The important things is what he saw and what he told later.
Well, according to the story, there were the angels that were very impressive and big and powerful looking and
Yes,
gigantic.
They were buff.
And then there were these ugly, hideous creatures with a moldy, decomposed type of flesh or skin.
No, you never said anything about that. Where did you get that?
Well, the Renaissance man Ken Create must be getting his story from one of his goofball.
I don't think he saw the video.
One of his goofball friends. So where does he get the story that the kids saw these moldy, decomposed creatures that they called demons? Where does he get? I gotta ask him.
In heaven, there was no demons in heaven.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him that. Where did you get the story that the kids saw these hideous creatures with the decomposed, moldy flesh? Who told you? See, this is the problem when stories change hands and get around to different people. Okay, but as far as the video goes of the testimony of Kevin Malarkey, you did not hear anything about the description of these demons.
The boy said he was in heaven. There are no demons in heaven.
No, did he describe the supposed satanic creature?
No.
Evil creature?
No, not when he was in heaven. Certainly not.
According to the video.
Yeah.
Maybe the book gave more details.
Kevin did say that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But all I can go by is the 44-minute video, 44 and change video, which I had to sit through last night.
Which is on the internet.
Yeah. YouTube.
Yeah, and this book is selling like hotcakes. Bestseller list.
Well, these books tend to do that. Look at the look at the what the hell's the name of it with Tim LaHaye? Left Behind. The Left Behind series, 100 million copies of the books sold.
Okay, now as far as the story goes, he...
Of course, How to Defeat a Conservative didn't sell anything.
Well, when you tell the real hard-hitting truth, you get a very small following, I notice. When you're a nut, or you're a burnout from the entertainment industry, and a substance abuser, and you're famous, and you're in the music industry, or you're a famous basketball player, or if A-Rod is like dating Cameron Diaz and she's feeding A-Rod like a little baby, goo goo gaga, everybody wants to see it. Yeah. Justin Bieber, the stupid Mo Howard haircut, Lady Gaga, etc., etc., etc. Everybody sees it. Anyway.
All right, so that's basically the story, okay? And the proofs that came about were such like when the EMTs were taking care of the kid. The wife said something. The kid said he was wearing a certain color outfit or something, and the wife says, no, he wasn't. Not when I saw him. And then when they go back and ask the EMT guy, he said, oh yeah, well I changed after that.
Yeah.
So in other words, there was several proofs, so to speak, that the kid was relating what he saw and knew.
Now, I don't know if this is in the book, but the child towards the end heard a divine voice saying that your work is not done yet. You must return to your body. You are not, permanently deceased. And that's when,
well, something of that nature.
Everybody kind of like treats this kid like he was a divine, like a saint or something.
No.
And has powers.
No. None of that is going on.
Well, it's sure coming out of King Create's mouth, and his born-again holy roller Christian friends are all...
The kid is a quadriplegic who is on a respirator.
Right now.
So, what, divine? What is this nonsense?
So if this kid is a quadriplegic as we speak, then why are they making him into this child that has a mission on earth now with special divine powers from God? That's what from what Ken was telling me, all these religious nuts, these right-wing fundamentalists, are making him like he's some kind of a saint with a mission.
No, it's just the information that he imparted about heaven and etc.
That's like when somebody says
he's not here to be giving, divine revelations and stuff. That's not anything of the nature.
That's like when people say, "Oh, I saw an image of the Virgin Mary on." Would you let me finish? They saw the image of the Virgin Mary on an attic window, or they saw the image of the Virgin Mary on a tree stump. Thousands of Catholics come out of the woodworks holding candles to the site, like it was Our Lady of Lourdes, France, or whatever.
But this is all nonsense.
But it's the same mentality, right?
Now,
it's the same mentality, right?
Well, what are these people? What is people like that? What are they looking for? What are they trying to do?
They're religious nuts, number one.
Well, they're religious nuts.
Fanatics.
Then, why?
Desperate, perhaps.
The problem here
looking for answers.
The problem here and the problem there is this episode with Mr. Malarkey and his child is doing one thing, and one thing only.
Making money?
Besides that, calling God a liar.
Now you're going to learn something about what the Bible really says.
Why? Because God says very clearly in the Bible, no one has gone to heaven except he who came down from heaven.
Which was the Spirit that became Jesus Christ. The Word, the Logos, right?
That's correct. So that's what that's what all of these so-called Christians do. They make up these traditions and things, the blood of Christ and
dispensation,
whatever crap.
Dispensation.
And then they make a church out of it.
They keep on saying, they keep on talking about the dispensation of grace, and you're covered by the blood, and you're covered by the blood. God could save you, and God could also take that away from you too. So
you can take it away from yourself.
Take it away from yourself. Now, about this deal that the right-wing fundamentalists, holy rollers like to talk about is I guess they've misinterpreted the definition of hell, death. They seem to believe in the immortal soul that is caught up, is going to be raptured up in the air, and when you die, you fly out of your body and go somewhere. They believe that. Now, the definition of the word hell, coming from the Greek word Hades, it means the grave.
Grave.
It simply means the grave.
Place where you put potatoes?
Yeah. It doesn't refer to like you said,
a place.
A place, like a
with fire and devils running around with pitchforks stabbing you in the ass.
Which is nothing but, which came from
Dante, the Divine Comedy.
Dante's
Inferno.
Dante's Inferno. So they believe in this Dante's Inferno thing, and they believe that you go up and you see your dead relatives. They greet you. You were mentioning.
Go to the light.
What was that again?
Go to the light.
Reach for the light. Go to the light. And then when you go to the light, all your dead relatives that have made it, that have been supposedly saved, will greet you and talk to you and say hi. And then you will either stay with them and be permanently dead, or you will return back to your body. And that's what they believe. But the truth is that if you, like, you said something very important to me, Reverend Dr. Bill. You said that if we had an immortal soul, then why?
A resurrection. Why would we need to be resurrected? This is what I'm saying.
Very important.
These people hold contradictions in their minds. Two contradictory thoughts. Disconnected things, and they put these things together and they make a religion out of them. But you can't do that.
No.
You must have, and by the way, let me just add this here. I too had an out-of-body experience whilst a child. Whilst in an operating room.
Okay.
I too hovered above the scene below.
Astral projection. Yeah.
No, I didn't project anything. I just, when they put the ether on, and by the way, back then they did use ether.
Okay.
When they put the ether on, and I supposedly went to sleepy by,
okay,
I hovered up and went into the intercom system of the particular hospital. I didn't go to heaven. I didn't see much of the scene that was going on.
And the only light you saw was on the ceiling.
I saw no light
just
except the operating lights.
The bulbs.
The bulbs in the operating room. And if, indeed, that situation has something to do with dying and going out of your body, well, then maybe I croaked, and came back later or whatever. But it seems that this type of situation has nothing to do with religion or anything of that nature. Whatever it is, we don't know. I know that they do they've done some studies on it, and they do say that if you tap a certain portion of the brain or portions of the brain, these things occur. So.
But as far as death and life after death and hell and where you go and everything, all these notions and these concepts that the right-wing fundamentalists, holy rollers, speak of are not in the Bible.
They're all made up, and they contradict the Bible. That's the point. Just as this kid's experiences call God a liar. And they get away with it.
Yeah. And then you have the right-wing conservative fundamentalists that continuously try to rewrite the Bible, not realizing they're violating the last chapter of the book of Revelations.
Well, why would that bother them when they violate the whole Bible in their tradition, whatever church they're propagating?
Now, people,
so why would that bother them?
Right-wing fundamentalists like Pat Robertson like to blame every disaster as like God punishing a certain group of people. I'm surprised he hasn't said anything yet about the tsunami and the nuclear reactors in Japan.
Well, he'll get around to saying something. Oh, maybe the Japanese are kowtowing to homosexuals or something. Hey, he'll say something.
Or Shinto. They practice a religion called
that's
Shinto.
Already known. Shinto and Hindu and Jane and whatever other ones they have over there.
Yeah, but Pat Robertson will never say that a group of people are being punished for love of money or greed or anything like. He'll never say punishment against greed and the capitalist system. You notice that Pat Robertson will never say that.
He will never quote Proverbs 28:20. He that makes haste to be rich shall not be innocent.
Shall not be innocent.
Yeah. He'll never quote that, I'm sure.
Hey, if a natural disaster happened to a filthy oil, like an oil-rich country or city like Dubai, Pat Robertson and the right-wing fundamentalists will never call that a punishment. Never. But if it has something to do with, like, what he said about the Haitians, earthquake in Haiti.
They made a pact with the devil.
Right. Didn't he say something about New Orleans and Hurricane Katrina victims? Same thing?
Yeah, of course, And how about the hurricanes down in Florida and et cetera?
Oh, and gays,
along
of course.
Jerry Falwell.
Homosexuality, right to life, the abortion issue. And
all of those things are a problem, but idolatry is not. Having the wrong God is not a problem.
Love of money is not a problem. Stem cells, that's very Christian. Stem cell research, having compassion for handicapped people and people that are paralyzed, and to save somebody's life or to improve the quality of a crippled person's life, that's very Christian. But they don't like stem cell research.
No. Because they have no compassion. You saw it, Timothy, what it says in the end time. Compassion is for the other person, the other thing, whatever it is. That's compassion. Your Republican conservatives have none of that. Right. Because they're interested in numero uno.
The bottom line.
Selfishness. Selfishness as a virtue.
The bottom line.
Made it a virtue.
The bottom line. Profits before people.
That's it.
Like you've always said.
That's it.
So the whole thing, the whole obsession with Kevin Malarkey is total right-wing fundamentalist religious nut a delusion. Is that basically what it is? It's
whatever it is.
Selling the books.
Well, that's what is happening after the event. But whatever it is, the main important thing is to just understand that if you are religious to the point that you believe the Bible, then you must understand that what they are portraying and saying is contradictory to the Bible and is calling God a liar. And that's as simple as it gets.
Yeah,
because God has said, like I said, no one has gone to heaven except he who came down.
And everybody who has ever died is awaiting
the dirt sleep they're taking.
They're taking the big dirt, but they're awaiting
a resurrection.
The big resurrection, which has not happened yet.
Now, all will be resurrected. Mm-hmm. Remember that. But some will be resurrected to judgment. And then, if found wanting, they will be burned in the fire.
The what?
The fire.
The lake of fire?
The lake of fire.
Well, and then God's
all's going to be resurrected. All.
Now you told me God right now, these people like the type of people that just really dig Kevin Malarkey's testimony and buy his book, the right-wing fundamentalists, evangelical holy roller type, they always talk about you need to have a personal relationship with God. Jesus and God. Now, it reminds me of what you told me many times in the past. They always talk about having a personal relationship with Jesus, but you told me that God is not interested in the masses right now.
That's true, and God thinks of human beings as grasshoppers and worms.
Now, what is God preoccupied with right now in this age if he's not interested in having a personal relationship with every individual?
He is interested in creating several people who will become spirit beings when he comes back and ruling with him to change the world, to be able to put the message out to the world, because his message is not going out to the world, never has gone out to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, during the millennium, that is what he will be doing.
So there'll be
during the millennium, there'll be people in the world who never even heard of him, the God of the Bible.
So he just needs the rulers to teach at New Jerusalem, in Jerusalem,
or to help in economics, or to help in education, or to help in rebuilding the earth, because the World War III is going to have occurred, and the earth is going to be left in a bad situation.
But
there's many jobs to do.
But after the second coming, and when with the 1,000-year rule, when Satan is bound for 1,000 years, the world tomorrow is going to be on earth.
Yeah.
Correct? With
Yes.
Jerusalem, the New Jerusalem
Headquarters.
being the main headquarters of the universe, basically, right?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet, but it's not going to be up in the sky, up in the clouds, in another dimension like the right-wing fundamentalists, holy rollers like
correct.
to say.
No human being
Evangelicals.
will
Yeah.
ever go to heaven. In fact, if they've ever read Revelation, the last books of the Bible,
Right.
they would see that after the 1,000 years and the loosing of Satan and going through some problems again, God himself, the Father, will bring his throne to Jerusalem, the headquarters of the universe. No longer will he be in heaven,
Yeah.
so to speak. So if any humans are going to heaven, immortal souls or not, they're going to be all alone.
Yeah, well, the life, the so-called world tomorrow, the life after death, as they like to talk about it, will be the resurrection.
Well, there are three resurrections.
And it'll be on earth, right?
There are three resurrections. First resurrection is to only resurrect those people who have already proved themselves and will become the teachers and etc. and rulers. Resurrect.
You mean like the greats from the Bible, Daniel and Abraham and
all of those.
so on and so on and so on.
All of those.
All the people.
Now,
Noah, perhaps.
yes, all of them, and because they have jobs to do, like Job. Job was a builder. He's going to have a job. Joseph. He will probably have some sort of job in the world economy because of what he did in Egypt with storing the wheat in the good years, so that when there were the bad years, the people were able to feed themselves. So he will probably be involved with economics.
Right.
Everyone in the Bible, the patriarchs and etc., did a certain job which God, Jesus, will need in the millennium.
Okay. Now, these right-wing fundamentalists, before we wrap it up, these right-wing fundamentalists, they're preoccupied with going out and proselytizing and trying to save people, or
getting recruits,
converting people, and they call it witnessing. Now, what is this obsession with bugging people? Well, they claim that a good witnesser is supposed to do it gently with a baby spoon. You can't shove religion down people's throats so that people get turned off and get angry and say, "Hey, get lost, buddy. Who are you?" Now, but what is this obsession with having to go out and witness? They claim that God will give them a special favor after they die if they witness.
No. What they're doing is just getting numbers, that's all. Catholic Church did that by torture in the old days.
So to them, it's like doing good works, right? Proselytizing.
They think so. They think they're doing something good, but it's not required.
So the Bible does not. What you're saying
If
is,
that were required, do you think that the true Church of God would be small today? if the job was to go out and get everybody saved, bring them into the church, make them tithe. Hey, let's get rich. It's never anybody's job to do that.
Or instead of because like Ken calls it, being on fire for the Lord, being on fire. Well, maybe people should be more preoccupied with saving their own soul, saving themselves, and not worrying about saving other people.
But they can't save. Nobody can save himself. You have to be chosen. The vast majority of humankind is not chosen. They just won't face that fact.
God has to come to you, and you have to have
because you are doing something that He will need in the millennium.
And you receive the Holy Spirit, and your heart is changed.
If you repent. If
you repent, your heart is changed, and but you have to change your lifestyle. Sin no more, right? You have to.
Yeah.
The concept of sin has to be out of your body and not part of your nature. But God, in other words, God comes to you and chooses who He wishes to convert or save.
Some people were already chosen in the womb, like John the Baptist.
Yeah.
So some were actually chosen, before they were born or when they were born or something.
So God,
whatever.
So going out and trying to save people and proselytize is not required or commanded by the Bible.
That is something that obviously these people are doing for themselves.
Right.
Satisfying some sort of thing inside themselves.
But the funny thing is they'll claim it's in the Bible, and they'll claim they could prove it.
Well, let them try to prove it, because it's not in the Bible. When Jesus was here, Jesus only spoke to Jews. He didn't come for Jews.
I mean, Gentiles.
Paul came for the Gentiles.
Paul came
spread the word.
Yeah.
But spreading the word is not what you were talking about, going and meeting people and changing their minds or whatever.
And bugging them.
Now, if you've already accepted the truth and you wish to now set up some sort of meeting place where you all can get together and be of one mind, that's different. That's much different. But people coming to your door on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock and knocking and then want to talk to you about the Bible, this is not required anywhere in the Bible. This is satisfying some human need.
It's created by man.
That's correct.
Like the Roman paganism that was the basis of the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah.
It's all created by man. The whole obsession with priests having to be celibate. It started in the Middle Ages, created by man. All laws of man.
Yes.
Basically. But that's it. So what you're saying, to sum this all up, what you're saying, Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, is that there is a very strong possibility that the testimony of Kevin Malarkey is
a bunch of malarkey.
Full of malarkey. So you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to
like I said, in its essence, it's calling God a liar. So you've got to make a choice. You're going to believe one or the other.
Okay.
And or don't believe any. I don't care. But I'm saying you can't hold these two contradictory thoughts in your mind at the same time.
It's like believing in evolution and science and everything, and believing in the Bible all at the same time.
Correct.
You can't do both.
Correct.
You can't say carbon dating and this, this is a billion years old and this is 10 million years old and blah, 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 and then believe in the Bible that everything was created, that the earth is only, what is supposedly, 6,000 years?
Well, not the earth.
10,000 years?
The earth is billions of years old, but it was renewed about 6,000 years ago.
6,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And when did Adam and Eve appear in Mesopotamia, the Garden of Eden?
Well, about that time.
About 6,000 years ago?
Yeah.
And of course they screwed it all up. We wouldn't have to suffer today and bust our ass and...
Well, that's why today conservative Republicans and everything, believe that work is necessary in the sense that they believe it is, like don't give that person welfare for God's sakes. He won't work then. He'll be lazy. Do you ever hear anybody say, listen closely, you ever hear anybody say that too much money makes the rich lazy?
There you go. Maybe the rich are hypocrites, the Republicans. Hey, did you ever also think that the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve and God providing everything for them before they were thrown out of the Garden of Eden? Do you ever think conservative right-wing Republicans that was the ultimate social program? Very similar to what you accuse pure liberals of trying to do, right? Isn't that the ultimate social program? Progressive liberal, bleeding heart liberal social program is when the time God provided everything and it was meant to be that way to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So what hypocrites the conservatives are. Unbelievable. Anyway, we're going to take a break and then we'll come back with articles, newspaper articles. Welcome. We're back from break. Now, before you begin with the articles, newspaper articles from our local newspaper, the Bergen County Record here in northeastern New Jersey, I want to mention, I took notice that United States of America has a hang-up about sex. I mean, look at, back in the day, I mean, gee, in 1950s, I Love Lucy show. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz had to sleep in separate beds. They wore pajamas right up to their chin, practically. And the list goes on with all the censorship that goes on in America, and plus the right-wing fundamentalist religious nuts in the Republican Party want to ban everything related to sexuality. Take away your right to watch porno in the privacy of your own home. And that nut Christine the Witch O'Donnell, way back when, wanted to outlaw masturbation and all this crap. Yeah, good luck. America seems to have a big hang-up.
Never got over it.
Yeah, the right-wing is part of the right-wing fundamentalism way of dealing with the Bible. I don't know what something about right-wing fundamentalists that they need to. I don't know if it's power and control that they're after. They need to shove things down your throat and tell you how to live your life.
Yeah,
basically take away your freedoms.
They're bringing you closer to God.
Huh?
They're bringing you closer to God.
No, they're bringing you closer to their control, probably.
Well, yeah. And they go further away, but they're bringing you closer to God.
Yeah. Well, of course.
They're keeping you on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, they're going further away with the love of money, profits over people, things like that. Corporatism.
That never gets into their consciousness.
Global corporate plutocracy, greed, which is idolatry, the love of money. That doesn't get into their consciousness at all. And then you have with the abortion, and the list goes on and on. Gay marriage and stem cell research, and it goes on and on. It seems to be about control rather than about what the Bible really says.
Well, it's about them ruling in place of God. The same thing as the Roman Catholic Church. The Pope became the vicar of Christ.
Sounds familiar?
And ruled in his stead.
You know what this all sounds like? The fall of Lucifer. Pride, right? He wanted to take God.
He wanted to take over.
He wanted to take God's place. Vanity, pride. So this all stems from that. Very, very similar. All right, the first article.
A new Brazilian government decree prohibits non-Brazilians from buying, controlling shares of companies that own vast tracts of territory in the South American country. The action is aimed at preventing foreign investors from circumventing a law that restricts their direct acquisition of land. Since the 1970s, the Brazilian government has limited the outright purchase of rural farmland by foreigners or companies based abroad for food security reasons. Does America do that?
Not really.
No, America does not do that. So someday, an enemy could buy up all the farmland in America, well, not all of it, and control all the food, and starve out the people.
Well, it sounds like that.
Is that a conspiracy theory?
It sounds like American politics is really obsessed, besides with profit and greed, they're obsessed with privatizing absolutely everything.
Oh, yeah.
They want nothing to be manufactured in the United States. They want nothing. They want everything, like, it's like, look at the situation Japan is in, because, not because they want to, but because it's a very mountainous island country, and Japan has to import a great deal of necessities. I hear even their rice has to be imported.
Their oil,
everything has to be imported. So when you're at the mercy of other people or other countries, that's what happens.
United States life expectancy has hit another all-time high, rising above 78 years.
Yeah, but is the quality of life increasing with the life expectancy?
The estimate of 78 years and 2 months is for a baby that is born in 2009 and comes from a preliminary report released on Wednesday by Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. About 24 million people died in the United States in 2009. Wait a minute. 2.4 million. There's a little dot there. Decimal point.
Okay.
Roughly 36,000 fewer deaths than the year before. Deaths were down for a range of causes, from heart disease to homicide. So experts don't believe there's one simple explanation for the increase in life expectancy. Better medical treatment, vaccination campaigns, and public health measures against smoking are believed to be having an impact. I would take issue with the vaccine thingy. U.S. life expectancy has been generally increasing at least since the 1940s, though some years it held steady. And a few times it temporarily dipped. Previously, the CDC said a 1-month dip occurred in 2008 to 77 years and 11 months. But in Wednesday's report, the agency corrected that to 78 years, attributing the glitch to a computer programming error. Belatedly, we realize there's something wrong here in the 2008 estimate. The 2009 report by the CDC's National Center for Health Statistics is based on nearly all the death certificates for that year. A final report is due later this year. More good news from the new report. The infant mortality rate hit a record low of 6.42 deaths per 1,000 live births, a drop of nearly 3% from 2008. But not everyone benefited. While life expectancy for whites rose, it held steady for blacks. The infant mortality rate for black babies did not improve either. As a result, the racial gap got a little wider. Whites already live about 4 years longer than blacks, and the margin grew by about 2 months. The gap between the sexes also persisted. Overall, male life expectancy is roughly 75.5. For females, it's about 80.5. Suicide passed blood infections to become the 10th leading cause of death. Suicide rates did not change significantly, but the blood infection death rate dropped 2%. That puts suicide back in the top 10 causes of deaths for the first time since 1999.
Wow. Well, as food availability and nutrition increases, and the medical science advances in first world countries like Europe and United States, and normally I would say Japan, but not after what's happening there. But yeah, I would say life expectancy, that would explain life expectancy. People used to be much shorter back in the day. Stature, something like that. I know that the mineral zinc is very closely tied into growth. Actually, they found in the ground, in the soil, where the African pygmy tribe exists, it was void of zinc. There was no zinc in the soil. So zinc has a lot to do with growth and development. Sex organs, sexual development, including height. So as nutrition gets better and nutritional supplementation becomes more readily available and state of the art, and nutrition gets better. It
won't be getting better with the Codex Alimentarius.
That is true. Codex Alimentarius, the greedy, evil corporate pharmaceutical industry. Oh, when I did Health Talk, by the way, I forgot to mention, when I did Health Talk yesterday, I played two very good recent videos. One of Gary Null discussing brain disorders, and the other one was the legendary medical nutritionist Dr. Julian Whitaker talking about Dr. Brzezinski and I believe in cancer. So that's on the air now on YouTube. Health Talk Volume 17. So, all right, the next article.
Just like new moms, new fathers can be depressed. And a study found a surprising number of emotionally affected dads spanked their 1-year-olds.
It's a little young.
About 40% of depressed fathers in a survey said
too young
they'd spanked kids that age versus 13% of fathers who weren't depressed.
Way too young. I'm sorry.
Most dads also had recent contact with their child's doctor. A missed opportunity to get help, authors of the study said. I actually think that children should not be spanked. Adults should.
I think older children that once they start walking and talking and arguing with you and misbehaving are candidates for old-fashioned spanking. I think that's missing from today. That's why you have so many monsters running around.
The American Academy of Pediatrics and many child development experts warn against spanking children of any age. Other studies have shown that kids who are spanked are at risk of being physically abused and becoming aggressive themselves. The researchers said spanking is especially troubling in children who are only 1 year old because they could get injured, and they are unlikely to understand the connection between their behavior and subsequent punishment.
There you go.
The study was released online today in the journal Pediatrics. The authors analyzed data on 1,746 fathers from a nationally representative survey in 16 large United States cities, conducted in 1999 and 2000. Lead author Dr. Neil Davis said that was the most recent comprehensive data on the subject, and he believes it is relevant today. Depression among fathers is strongly tied to unemployment rates, which are much higher now than a decade ago. The men were questioned about depression symptoms, spanking, and interactions with their 1-year-olds, but weren't asked why they spanked or whether it resulted in physical harm. Overall, 7% of dads had experienced recent major depression. Some likely had a history of depression, but in others it was probably tied to their children's birth, similar to postpartum depression in women.
Well, the lack of respect that today's younger generation American kids have, and with all the crime they get involved with and substance abuse, I'd say it's a lack of old-fashioned discipline. I would say that, but not one or 2-year-olds. No. They can't. It's like same thing with a pet. You cannot discipline a dog after the fact, or any animal. It's forgotten why you're disciplining it.
The cat won't even listen to you.
A cat does not. Well, I guess a water bottle is a good tool.
Yeah, but that's only going to make him go away or something. But that's not going to teach him a lesson.
No,
because cats do not respond to punishment.
No. What about the idea of putting pennies in an empty soda can? The rattling,
shaking them, yeah, it scares them.
They scares them. And what about this product called bitter apple?
Well, that's to keep them from something you don't want them to eat.
Like when a cat keeps on jumping on a kitchen counter, and you don't want them to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, bitter apple. All right, what do we got here?
The stock market is roaring.
It is.
Corporations are awash in cash. CEOs are reaping fabulous paychecks again.
Then where are the jobs?
And holiday spending reached its highest level in 4 years.
Where are the jobs?
Forget last year's talk of gloom.
Yeah,
All
right.
economic indicators are now on Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom.
Headed for a new boom.
Yeah, shillelagh with no lubrication up your ass. Yeah, right, sure.
Well, maybe not all indicators. There is one pesky little problem, and it's called joblessness.
Yeah, or maybe the greed has gotten so bad with corporate America that corporate America is lying, was lying before about their lack of profits, and because of their greed, they just outsource because they can. And when they bring their products back into the U.S., the politicians here are not tariffing the products coming off the cargo ships. And that's what we need to do to punish the elitists.
Most politicals and economists no longer want to be bothered that millions of people are either unemployed or underemployed.
Yeah, because the economists are working. They don't give a shit.
Jobs, they say, are merely a lagging economic indicator.
Oh, sure.
A problem that will take care of itself in the by and by.
Oh, yeah. What about all the middle class losing their homes to foreclosure? That's going to go away also?
But jobs have been lagging for years now.
True.
And there's no sign that this problem will ever take care of itself. America's corporate elitists have learned that they can prosper by deliberately holding the workaday majority in a new normal of job insecurity. No one at the top wants to admit it, but big business has quietly been shifting from a workforce of permanent employees to one which most jobs are temporary, scarce, low-paid, without benefits, and with no upward mobility.
Dead-end jobs? No future? Oh yeah, what's with all these temp jobs? Temp to hire, temporary, temp to hire. Whatever happened to a permanent, full-time job? I don't see that.
I know a guy who is, I guess, not so skilled, you would say.
Entry-level, unskilled labor?
And he does, maybe it would be maintenance work or something for like clinics. He works in Texas.
You mean a custodian?
Probably.
A porter, or whatever you want to call it?
I'm not sure.
Oh, a custodian.
But he's not skilled, so obviously it's one of those.
I don't want to say janitor because they don't use that.
Lower-end jobs.
They don't use that term anymore. Okay.
And he just got the boot from his present job, and now he'll have to move to another city in Texas for the other job.
Sounds like what Donald Trump was saying.
Well,
relocate.
Yeah,
sure.
But Donald Trump and all of these big business people never say the important thing. Now, why would they ask the worker to relocate when it would be great for the economy, great for the country, great for the state, great for the city, if the corporation moved to where the people were who needed jobs?
Well, that would be the nice thing to do.
Of course.
You know, don't expect nice things to be done by corporate American CEOs.
Of course.
Or the right thing, doing the right thing. Heaven forbid an American elitist fat cat should do the right thing. You know.
Of the 1.2 million jobs created by the private sector last year, 26% were temporary positions, and in November, 80% of new jobs were temps. What's happening here is the intentional dismantling of America's middle-class structure. The powers that be can talk all they want about a boom, but working families, America's majority, know better. A boom for whom, they ask.
Mm-hmm.
The elite, meanwhile, don't get that they are playing with economic and political dynamite that really might go boom. Yeah, when the people finally start picking up the torches and pitchforks.
Desperate,
maybe.
Very angry and mad with hatred, desperation. When is an animal most dangerous, right? When it's backed into the corner and it has nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Or if America is involved in a guerrilla war where the people do not fear death, the opposition, the enemy. You know? Hey, these people out there, these ass-kissing Tea Party middle-class protesters that want to kiss corporate ass and kiss Republican ass, like the protesters way back when with Governor Walker in Wisconsin, if they want to continue, you know, their ways of being misguided, don't forget, the National Guard and the other corporate Republican ass kissers that have the military weapons and the FEMA camps. You know what happens when soldier ants are on a rampage in the South American Amazon jungle and there's a large creature in front of them? And the large creature is obviously a hell of a lot bigger and more powerful.
They swarm over it.
They swarm over it, baby, and on it, and feast on it.
Yep,
that's right.
That's what has to be fired into the bellies of American people.
Well,
that kind of a gut reaction.
Now,
they don't get what's going on.
Now, it's true. It's true. If they wised up and they realized that the two-party system is corrupt, and both Democrats and Republicans are both in bed with the fat cat elitists, and they're all paid off, and they're all corrupted, and they turn around and they see the light, and they vote for a progressive, liberal, independent, yes, it will be the lesser of the two evils. Yes, it might be a lot lesser of the two evils, but there's still a possibility that the independent might eventually down the line have a price on his head and get corrupted also. Of course there's a possibility. He's a human being, or she's a human being. It's human nature. The human beings as a whole are vile creatures, sinful creatures. Yes. So would the second coming of Christ be our only hope? Definitely yes. But what's going to help us now is if the people wise up and do not be fooled to think that only a candidate of the two-party system is the most qualified to run your state or the United States of America. Don't think like that. hey, what's with Hillary Clinton? She does not want the job anymore of Secretary of State. Is it the traveling, or does she have bigger plans for her career?
She said no.
She said no to the 2012, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe there's personal reasons why she's stepping down. Okay. Now, if she turns around and she pulls, like we don't know what's going on with Chris Christie. Chris Christie told the media, I'm definitely not interested in ever running for president. But he seems to be all over the country campaigning for every Republican known to man, right?
Yep.
It wouldn't be the first time that a career politician lied to the public.
No.
So what's cooking with this article? That basically it?
In keeping with the last article, America is still an exporting powerhouse. In fact, our corporate chieftains are breaking records for exporting America's most precious goods.
Yeah, jobs too.
Our jobs.
I had no idea he was going to say that.
Our factories.
Yeah.
Our technology. And middle-class opportunities.
Good article.
And perhaps you think that U.S. corporations aren't hiring these days. Nonsense! They added 1.4 million jobs last year alone. Come on. Say it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Say it.
Could you repeat that, please?
They hired 1.4 million jobs last year alone.
In India or mainland China?
That's correct, overseas.
Overseas. Not in the United States.
For example, more than half of Caterpillar's new hires in 2010 were in foreign countries. Many more of their next round of new jobs will be offshore, since this once iconic American brand has invested in 3 new plants in China.
Caterpillar, is that a construction equipment? But every time I see a construction site, I see the Japanese, the famous Japanese company.
Yamaha?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't remember the exact spelling of it, but there is a famous Japanese construction equipment company. But I'm sure they make it better. I'm sure they do.
Likewise,
honestly,
DuPont, once proud of its United States workforce, has slashed its number of American employees in recent years while increasing its Asia-Pacific workforce by more than half. Indeed, DuPont no longer considers itself American. We are a global player, sniffs its chief innovation officer. Such homemade brands as Coca-Cola, Dell, IBM are among the multitude of corporations abandoning our shores and our middle class. Of course, they still keep their well-appointed headquarters here, so the corporation and top executives can continue enjoying all that America has to offer. Calvin Coolidge once asserted that what's good for business is good for America. That was myopic enough. But today's narcissistic CEOs reckon that what's good for business is good for business. America be damned. If we are to have a united society, America cannot tolerate such raw selfishness by the privileged few. We can have a plutocracy or a democracy, but we can't have both.
Excellent article, Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. Excellent article. I'm sounding like Montgomery Burns from the Simpsons now. Excellent, excellent. Excellent article, Reverend Dr. Lowe. How many more do you want to do before you go to participate in high tea and take your nutritional supplements?
Let's have 2 more.
2 more articles, and then, of course, when the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman partakes in high tea and nutritional supplementation, because his research center is just like round the clock practically, 24/7. I will be doing my usual promo for our organization. Okay. Next.
When John Boehner was sworn in as the new Weeper of the House,
the Stan Laurel of Washington,
in early January, he tipped his hat to the teabag activists across the country who fueled the Republican takeover of the chamber last fall. He almost choked up as he promised to give the government back to the American people.
Oh, really?
In fact, the people Boehner's giving the government back to are not Tea Partiers, but the rapacious corporate lobbyists who ran the Congress during the Bush years.
That's the American people that the newly controlled Republican Congress is giving America back to. See, lies. Republican, conservative, Tea Party lies, like the previous show I did last week. Okay, that is getting a lot of hits on the internet rather quickly.
Throughout his 2 decades in the Congress, the new Speaker has been a reliable ally of corporate interests. In recent years, he has formed unusually tight legislative, political, and even social ties with a group of lobbyists for Citigroup, Coors, Goldman Sachs, Google, and R.J. Reynolds. It's one thing for a congressional leader to listen generously to corporate lobbyists, but to have them also be his closest friends, social chums, and golfing buddies, well, you just want to say, for heaven's sake, Johnny, get a life. They are now the Speaker's inner circle. Theirs is the agenda that Republican leaders will be pushing, and Boehner has hired a top corporate lobbyist to be his policy director. No Tea Party operative is a Boehner insider, though David Koch, the multi-billionaire industrialist and laissez-faire extremist who bankrolled much of the Tea Party GOP victory last fall, was a guest at the swearing-in of the new Congress. So while Tea Party regulars are giddy with thought that their movement took over the United States House, they were actually the Trojan horse, allowing the corporate powers to move inside, quietly take over, and return Congress to business as usual.
Do you think perhaps Weeper of the House, Congressman John Boehner, Boehner, his tears are perhaps crocodile tears?
Obviously.
Tears of a clown when everyone's around? Like the, what was that, the Smokey Robinson song?
No.
Yeah, I think they are crocodiles. His theatrics
He's a drama queen.
He's a drama queen. He's a drama queen. And he's in bed with the elitists, and the America that he's returning to the people are not the mainstream people.
He went back to the people that were there before, with Bushy.
It's not the middle class. It's not the poor. It's not the masses. John Boehner's people, the Republican Congress's people are the fat cat elitists. The same fat cat elitists that G.W. Bush Cheney administration kowtowed to. And, of course, the little guy gets nothing. So, my question is, when, if the burden of taxation still continues to remain on the shoulders and backs of the middle class, which will drive the middle class slowly but surely into poverty, then when everybody's poor and you only have 2 classes left, the rich and the poor, then number one, who will pay the taxes then, and who will
taxes then,
and who will buy their products? Huh? There won't be taxes then?
No, because the elites will do away with it. What do you think they're doing now?
But who will buy their products?
For the last 30 years.
If America is progressively turning
well,
poor.
I guess they figure they can sell them around the world. Who knows?
So they're not very long term.
Well, that too. They don't think in long terms. I mean, America is the biggest market in the world, and everybody wants to bring its goods to the American market. Even these companies that are outsourcing and going overseas, that's what they want to do. But they conveniently forget, as Mr. Henry Ford understood way back when. He said that he had to pay his people the highest wages in the industry because how else could they buy his products? So obviously they don't care about that, or haven't thought it through, because they do think only short term.
They're not long-term business people.
No, just like Wall Street. Wall Street is short term.
How much profit can I make now? How many people can I screw now? How much money can I save on labor and, of course, and on better quality products now? Everything is now, yeah. But not tomorrow. And that's unfortunately the case. And yeah, it's but it fits perfectly into end-time Bible prophecy.
Well, it fits into perfectly the destruction of the United States,
which is cursed.
And if you're going to take it that far, obviously that's the Bible prophecies indicate that America will be taken down from within, because right at this moment in history, there is no military power that can take America down from outside. So all the destruction that will occur, obviously, has to occur from within.
Nikita Khrushchev said that during the Cold War about deterioration from within.
Well, he thought that communism would beat out capitalism, but capitalism infiltrated his country.
They were the virus that infiltrated the...
Well, yeah, what happened is when capitalism went in there in the 1999, or whenever it was the wall fell, organized crime, all kinds of bad things occurred.
Yeah. Well, like you always
said,
what
capitalism does.
You
it's
always,
immoral.
Unfortunately, like what you always said, all politics is
pathological.
Pathological. I mean, yes, Karl Marx, socialism, it's a lot closer to God's economics than conservative capitalism is, without a shadow of a doubt. The Bible is a lot more liberal than it is conservative, okay, but it's all controlled by humans, and humans are very corruptible and sinful, and this is where we're at. Oh, by the way, this past Thursday, St. Patrick's Day, Dr. Bill, I gorged myself on high-quality, lean corned beef brisket and cabbage. And I chased it down with a Yinling, my favorite beer right now. High quality microbrew beer at a low price. And it was dyed green, of course, for St. Patrick's Day. It was green beer, and I'm proud to say that I nursed 1 pint of Yinling while I ate an entire tray of corned beef brisket. Okay, and I was a happy camper. It was a great value. It was a free St. Patrick's Day buffet during, it was all day. Wait a minute. I could have, damn it. I could have left. When I left, I could have came back. I don't know if I would have had any seating, because happy hour was at 3 p.m. And I'm sure all the lushes who only care about booze and don't care about the corned beef, they would have had all the seating taken, but But anyway, so you have one more article?
Scientists believe a black hole can be any size, but they don't know for sure. They believe a black hole can be smaller than a pinpoint, or have millions of times more material or mass than our sun. What they know for sure is that the massive black holes in space were probably all formed by dying stars. A black hole is formed when a whole bunch of material, as from a star, is crammed into a tiny area like a ball a few miles wide. The more material that's smashed into a small volume, the more dense something is. The more dense an object, the stronger its gravity is. A black hole is super dense. Scientists have discovered evidence that millions of stellar black holes are in every galaxy, including our own, the Milky Way.
I wasn't urinating, people. I was pouring my high antioxidant-rich tea. Oh, good.
But don't worry, they can never pull us in.
Okay.
There is probably also a supermassive black hole in the center of each galaxy. The supermassive black hole in the Milky Way appears to weigh 2 million to 3 million times more than our Sun. Some experts believe that supermassive black holes may have helped form galaxies by pulling star material into their neighborhood. Another idea scientists have is that when stars are coming together, supergigantic stars may collide and form supermassive black holes. Or galaxies may collide, forming a supermassive black hole. If the Earth were smashed into the size of a marble, it would be dense enough to be a black hole.
Interesting. It's amazing, you know, it's amazing how insignificant the planet Earth really is in the whole scheme of things. You know, when you take a big step backwards and look at the overall picture. We are very tiny in the eyes of God. Smaller than you think. But God's plan and the accurate interpretation of the Bible is not what you have been hearing. Now, speaking of, I am proud to announce, of course, that this Internet Talk radio show, which is on video, of course, will be on the radio on Fridays as discussions. Okay, including Health Talk that you saw on the internet through live stream yesterday is today on the Mega Life 21 hard-hitting Internet Talk radio station on Saturday at Health Talk. So all the video shows are easily and quickly, by state-of-the-art programs, converted into Internet Talk shows. So you haven't missed a thing, you know. So anyway, we're going to take a slight break, which will be like a couple seconds to you people. Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman will go to high tea and nutritional supplementation, and I will finish up the show with the usual promo that I do. We are back. Now, thank you for joining us for our show about the famous Christian. Well, it's most likely going to be titled, unless we come up with a better title, but 99.9% of it is most likely going to be titled, this video, is the famous Christian Kevin Malarkey full of malarkey? You know, with the question mark. Now, oh, by the way, before I do promo, Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, who is on this side of the Newsletter Censored Research Center, participating in his high tea and nutritional supplements, lots of antioxidants. Do you have a new newspaper article coming up for the Bergen Record?
No.
No, okay.
Working on a newsletter.
Oh, that's right. He's working on a brand new...
First page done last night.
A brand new issue of Newsletter Censored is in the works.
Yeah.
And have you decided on a title for this?
Yes, I have.
Oh.
It is called Listen, Little Man and Woman. It is a takeoff on a famous book written many, many moons ago by Wilhelm Reich. Listen, Little Man.
For those of you that are not familiar with the legendary Dr. Wilhelm Reich, he is one of the mentors of the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, and he just go to the Wilhelm Reich Museum up in Maine if you happen to be traveling to New England, or go to his website. What is it? I think it was WilhelmReichMuseum.org.
Yeah.
The Reich Museum. The link is on one of our web pages, MySpace profile for us, Megalife21. Just go to www.megalife21.com/ I'm sorry. Hold on while let me hit myself with the shillelagh. Backtrack. www.myspace.com/Megalife21. That's www.myspace.com/Megalife21. And there is a Wilhelm Reich Museum link right below Wilhelm Reich's photograph, I think. I think it's there.
Should be.
You know what? It should be, because I know MySpace, they're always changing, their programming, and the profile programming, and they totally wiped out everything we had, so it might not even be there. So until we get it back, if it's not there, just Google it. You can't go wrong with Google. Go to Google, type in the Wilhelm Reich Museum and .org, whatever, and you'll see it. You'll see what a unique genius he was, and how he was ostracized because he was ruffling too many feathers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the FDA.
Yeah, your FDA that you think is
protecting you
is there to protect you, American people. Think again. Hey, by the way, speaking of government agencies and people in the government that are lying to the masses and not protecting us, whatever happened with True TV's conspiracy theory with Jesse Ventura? I don't even see the reruns anymore. Were they perhaps
gone into a black hole?
Did the government, did certain politicians and the corporate sponsors perhaps put pressure on True TV?
It's a possibility.
To ban them? Well, if that's the case, Satan is alive and well and working through conservatives. Go to the Megalife21 hard-hitting internet talk radio station, and you will find all of Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory episodes in a convenient video playlist right there. And you could watch them all 24/7. We will continue to promote those shows, even though they're not on True TV anymore. So go there. Actually, all the playlists are there now. Megalife21 Mayhem, the live broadcast of Health Talk, or the Wizard Azibuko show, or Pro Wrestling Talk with the Wizard Azibuko. The live stream video is there. The archive shows for Health Talk is there. The archive shows for the Wizard Azibuko. Wizard Azibuko's Dungeon is there. That playlist. The newsletter censored team with discussions. All the videos that you see right now are there in a playlist. Just go to Newsletter Censored. And speaking of Newsletter Censored, let me do it right now. Okay? If you want to go to our hard-hitting, Megalife21 hard-hitting internet talk radio station, okay, go to www.newslettercensored.com and click on the link at the top that says Newsletter Censored Radio, whatever, and you will go directly to our hard-hitting, mostly, for the most part, progressive liberal, but we believe in the real hard-hitting truth, no matter what it is. In this case, it's definitely not conservative. But anyway, go there and check it all out. Everything is archived if you missed it, so you don't miss anything. Right now, it's Saturday, so you'll be hearing Health Talk by yours truly, James P. Madonna. Now, this is a sample of Newsletter Censored, founded in 1977 by the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, my co-host and mentor. It contains the 5 taboos of American life, which is politics, religion, health, human sexuality, and child rearing. Okay? And occasionally important news topics in the form of tidbits. Now, the information contained in this newsletter is the type of information that most people are afraid to hear. Can you handle it? And at the beginning, this is the last issue, The Hidden Enemy by William J. Eisenman, Ph.D. And then we have, in this case, there was a health talk done by myself. Protect Our Freedom to Make the Right Health Choices. The God Project by William J. Eisenman, Doctor of Divinity. Followed by Sexuality, A Holistic Approach by William J. Eisenman, Ph.D. There is more information in this newsletter than there is on our talk shows or on our websites. You need Newsletter Censored. We are living in the end times. You need Newsletter Censored to learn how to defeat a conservative. Okay? So go to www.newslettercensored.com, our homepage, our flagship website, and click on the printable order form, and with your gift to support this work, get your free annual subscription to Newsletter Censored. This is the best way to be a part of our organization. This is the very foundation of our entire organization. Newsletter Censored. You need Newsletter Censored. www.newslettercensored.com. Get it. Okay, now, last but not least, this guy right next to me, right here. This is a self-portrait of my co-host and mentor, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. The William J. Eisenman collection of fine watercolor paintings can be seen at www.newslettercensored.com. The gallery can be seen www.myspace.com/megalife21. You can go to the William J. Eisenman Facebook profile. He has the paintings there. Fine watercolor paintings by the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. And if you see something you like, send him an email, and which can be found at newslettercensored.com. Send him an email and ask him if the painting is available. And if it is available for purchase, the bidding generally starts at $500 each. Check out the collection, the fine watercolor collection by William J. Eisenman. I believe the best looking gallery is the one at on my Megalife21 MySpace profile, because it has the black background with the big, when you double click on it, you get the big view with the black background, and it stands out nice. But nevertheless, no matter where you are, of course, if you have a Facebook profile, which today most people do, send him, join his friends list. You know, he has a Facebook profile, okay? And you also find in his friends list the legendary Dr. Gary Null. He's there too. Important, very important. Hey, I even found Julian Whitaker on Facebook. Dr. Julian Whitaker. He's even there. Everybody's there, you know. The only strange thing about Facebook is, if you try to send somebody a friend's request, they're really hard-ass about whether or not you know that person, and they tell you you cannot approach so-called strangers and ask them to be your friend, because you will be considered as spam. Damn. And you will be blocked. But How does one network themselves on Facebook and add to their friends' network and make new friends if they're not allowed to send a greeting to strangers? Good question.
Good question.
I mean, a person's only limited as to the amount of people they know. When you think about it, you know.
Well, some people keep saying that you can only have 5,000 friends.
I know somebody that has 5,000 friends. He's a famous magician. He's a world-class magician. I believe it's Rocco Solano, a close friend of little Jimmy Pesto, and Ken Create, Renaissance man Ken Create. Rocco Solano has 5,000 friends, and they're people in the business. Okay, so you think there's a limit? There's a ceiling?
That's what I hear.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, let's say you have an agenda and you want a Facebook profile. Well, they'll let you promote your agenda on Facebook if it's not harmful and illegal. You know, they'll let you promote it, but if you can't, if you cannot, I guess it's spam if you don't know the person, but if the person likes what you have, they may want to join your friend's profile, your friends list. You know, if it's positive.
Well, I think then what you do in that case is you read what everybody posts and you click on their picture and ask them, I guess.
Yeah, but if you're not famous already, then there's the problem. Facebook accuses you as a spammer. If you're a celebrity, in other words, you have to be somebody. Here we go again with connections in this country. You know, if you're somebody, if you're some sort of celebrity, then people will ask to join your friends list. If you're not famous, then you're just considered a spammer when you go out to add people to your network. So you cannot physically go out and add people to your network. They have to seek you out. A friend of a friend or a friend of a friend of a friend goes on and on and on. But anyway, I just find it an annoyance that you cannot send a greeting to somebody. You're considered a spammer and then you're blocked. You know, some people might want to go through Facebook. Some single people might want to hook up. If they see somebody hot looking, they might want to send a greeting. Now, if they don't know that person, Facebook will call them a spammer and block their, you know, their privileges of sending it out. So, you know, then, you know, so single people can't hook up. Anyway, you know what? The founder of Facebook looks like looks like he's constipated. You ever see him? He's got squinty eyes with the big nose, you know. Anyway, it's all hard-ass bullshit is what I'm trying to say. You know, let people just freaking have fun. Let them go out and build a friends network. Let them hook up on the internet. So what? You know, I mean, if you're an adult, you know how to see the red flags go up. You know how to catch the negative signals of somebody that you might not want to deal with if you're an adult. It's like over here. Every corner has a crossing guard at 3 p.m., you know, and they're crossing adults that know how to cross the street. Why do adults and teenage and big kids, why do they need to be crossed like they're a little baby? You know, it's like everybody's like coddled and overprotected in America. You know, the same thing goes for the internet. You know, like with some antivirus programs, you're just overly protected. Everything is blocked. You know, your ability to do certain things is automatically blocked. You know? I don't know. Anyway, take care. Thank you for joining us on Discussions from the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey. Bye-bye. Say so long.
Hasta la vista.
Ah, you said it this time. Hasta la vista indeed.